And when I went back to my office, I had a visitor who came in unannounced and without any appointment, and he is none other than then Administrator Serafika, where he asked me if it's okay if he may submit his resignation to me. I told him, you just have to do what you think is right under the circumstance. And do not shift the burden on me or to us, because you didn't even give us the courtesy of asking whether we should pass the SO4 or not. Also ask who will be accredited, and an answer to our query if the PITC may import on behalf of industrial and for home consumption sugars. And finally, if we may be given a draft sugar order for their proposed 300,000 metric tons new round of importation. On the following day, 5 August, Friday, at around 2:55 p.m., my office received a draft sugar order from then SRA Administrator Serafika. And few hours thereafter, we received the recommendation, a memo containing the recommendation to import that 300,000 metric tons of sugar, this time coming from Senior Undersecretary Leo Sebastian. On 7 August, which is a Sunday, at around 2:57 p.m., I received a text message from Senior EXEC Leo Sebastian. And the message contains, and I quote, "Good afternoon, VIC. Any instruction from the President after his meeting with SENAD on sugar and on fertilizer for farmers? Thanks." I purposely did not answer him dahil wala pa pong tugon ang Pangulo sa tatlong bagay na ito. On August 8, Monday, at around 7:06 p.m., I received again another message from EXEC Leo Sebastian, and I quote, "Good evening, ESVIC. Any decision by the President on the additional fertilizer funding for rice? Thanks."
Recording is on.
Again, I purposely did not respond because these are the matters that are still on the table of the acting Secretary of the Department of Agriculture that we have yet to act upon and that he has yet to decide on. On 10 August, Wednesday, after the meeting in the State Dining Room of Malacanang, we learned that the SRA, through EXEC Leo Sebastian, passed a resolution approving sugar order number 4 without submitting to us the following: the import plan, which should be the precursor for any sugar order to be issued. No knowledge of the acting secretary, His Excellency Ferdinand Marcos Jr., and without even convening. He proceeded to my office. This was late afternoon to early evening. And there was Senior EXEC Sebastian, DTI Secretary Fred Pascual, and PITC President Molly Chong. They were there because even before the discussion on sugar order number 4, we were heavy discussing on the possible source or sources for urea 4600 or 46 for the fertilizer. I confronted EXEC Leo Sebastian and asked him why he did such a thing behind the President's back, without the President's knowledge, and in an unfair and dishonorable way. I asked him to call then SRA Administrator Serafika and Board Member Beltran and ask them, and likewise ask them the same thing, where I asked EXEC Leo to put both of them on speakerphone. At yun din po ang nakuha kong sagot mula kay then Administrator Serafica. Ang sagot po niya sa akin, ang naging tugon niya, akala ko po kasi okay na, sabi ni Yusek Leo. Ganon din ho yung sagot ni Board Member Beltran at ganon din ang sagot ni Senior Yusek Leo Sebastian. On August 11, Thursday, I and the President had a meeting with the FIAP, or the Fertilizer Industry Association of the Philippines, regarding fertilizer. And also on the same day, arranged a meeting with the Philippine Chamber of Food Manufacturers Incorporated. And when I went back to my office, I had a visitor who came in unannounced and without any appointment, and he is none other than then Administrator Serafica, where he asked me if it's okay if he may submit his resignation to me. I told him, you just have to do what you think is right under the circumstance. And do not shift the burden on me or to us, because you didn't even give us the courtesy of asking whether we should pass the SO4 or not. And also on the same day, I received a letter from Senior Yusek Sebastian on his request to be relieved of his duties as COS and Senior Undersecretary. 12 August, Friday, it was the oath-taking of the newly designated BARM officials. And I had a chance to see the Senate President in Malacanang, and I took the opportunity to ask him if he is free after the oath-taking so I can discuss with him matters relating to the sugar industry. And he readily and graciously heeded my request. And it is also on this day, Your Honors, 12 August, Friday, that Senate President Zubiri was able to source sugar from industry, from the planters, from the industry producers. And I really begged in front of the good Senate President, if they can help the government, they can help the President, they can help the Filipino people, the consumers, if we can sell it at 80 pesos per kilo. And readily, the good Mr. Lance Gokongwei readily agreed, together with Victoria's Milling Corporation, as well as Lucio and Vincent Co. and SM Group of stores or groceries. On August 15, Monday, we had our meeting with the Philippine Chamber of Food Manufacturers Incorporated, again in Malacanang, and it was manifested by His Excellency President Marcos that it is his desire that we ensure sufficient supply and make their plants run in full capacity. Because during the meeting, we were told, Your Honors, that some of them, their plants are running only in its 40% capacity dahil wala na raw pong Butler grade refined sugar. And it was also on that meeting that the President instructed me to determine the balance and the type of sugar to be imported if and when we're going to pass sugar order soon. On 17 August, Wednesday, we met with a group of sugar planters and sugar producers. And 20 August, Saturday, we were able to finalize the plan to sell more or less 3 million kilos of sugar. And when I told the President that the pledges amounted to more or less 3 million kilos, ang sabi ho ng Pangulo, magkano natin ibibenta? Ang sabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, nakumbinsi po natin sila na ibenta natin ng 80. Sabi niya, okay, ES, nakiusap ka na lang din naman, tanong mo, baka pwede pa nating pakiusapan ibenta ng 70. Para naman nang sa ganoon, hindi na mahirapan at mabawasan natin yung paghihirap ng ating mga kababayan dahil sa patuloy na pagtaas ng presyo ng asukal. At tumawag po ako kay Ginoong Gokongwei, kay Ginoong Vincent Co. sa Victoria's Milling at ganun din po sa SM Stores. And readily they said, sige, tutulong na lang din kami. Pumayag ho sila na ibenta ito ng 70. I told them, just take this as another form of private-public partnership. Tulungan natin hindi ang Pangulo, kundi yung ating mga overburdened na consumers. And kahapon po, August 22, Monday, His Excellency, President Ferdinand Marcos, administered the oath to the new SRA board. He also had his first meeting with the new board at ang mga naresolba po ay muli nilang pag-uusapan yung pagpasa po ng SO1, yung classification of sugar for the incoming crop year, at ang pagpasa po ng SO2 for the importation of more or less 150,000 metric tons of sugar. Ang hatian po dito, 75,000 metric tons for industrial at 75,000 metric tons for home consumption. Your Honors, these are the events that transpired as far as my knowledge and participation are concerned. And in closing, Your Honors, there is nothing more important than food security. Its availability to the most ordinary Filipino and ensure food price stability to achieve our goal na walang Pilipinong nagugutom. Na kapag napabayaan at pinabayaan po nating lahat, ay maaring magdulot ng social unrest. Yun lamang po, magandang umaga at maraming salamat po.